Some of you may know about last year's release of TurretGirls, a Japanese fanservice game that came out on Steam. Recently, it got quite a substantial patch that includes a new character and several additional features like photo mode and various quality of life improvements. I really liked TurretGirls. I thought it was good fun with a decent amount of fanservice. It's a bit like a 2010s era fanservice game that we don't really see that often anymore. Its popularity led them to plan out a series of updates with several improvements and expansions. This update is the first major one laid out in their roadmap, or actually it's the second one, I think. And yeah, it's quite substantial, I would say, because it does include a new character. I did a review of the game, and the basics pretty much apply still, but, so you don't have to watch the old one. I'll give you a quick overview of what the game is about, and then we'll look at the updates. TurretGirls is a tower defense type game. People also describe it as a rail shooter, though technically you are on rails, but I wouldn't call it one in the same way Space Invaders isn't one. Basically, a horde of aliens come at you, you control a girl who operates a massive rail-mounted weapon. You're not only trying to survive yourself, but also keep the 5 generators that are in front of you intact. You lose when all the generators are destroyed, or if you lose all your health. You don't have a health bar per se, you kind of have to judge it by how much clothing damage there is, which I think is fairly intuitive. After every wave, you can upgrade your weapons, add different abilities, and install new generators with different stats. What do the generators generate? Well, power, which seems to make sense, but more specifically, after every wave or day, as the game calls it, you can see that the overall power level charges up. Once it reaches full power, it goes to a boss battle where you have to hold off enemies until the super weapon fires. You win if you do. And if you play the endless stages, it just kind of keeps going and it just loops in terms of, the thing charging up and then there being a boss fight and it just keeps going. Here's the new stuff from the update. The main thing is there's a new character called Raven. Speaking of names, I still find it funny that the original character is just called Girl. Unlike the happy-go-lucky girl character, Raven is a more snarky kind of person. In terms of looks, she's in the goth loli camp. I like the contrast. There's a few other differences too. She can only carry 4 weapons instead of 5. She can move faster but takes damage more easily. And her special weapon is a crossbow thing, which works very well against bigger enemies. She also has 3 exclusive upgrades, which is crossbow overcharge and charge speed, defense upgrade, and then something called Chrono Bomb. And Chrono Bomb is basically like a charged crossbow shot, and it slows down enemies that are caught up in the explosion. Raven has 81 unlockable clothing items and accessories. I don't know if that includes the ones that are already unlocked or not, but that's neither here or there. You need to do certain things to unlock them, and in the description you can see, what the things are. Like, finish like a certain stage, or kill this many enemies, or build this many, specific types of generators or whatever. Photo mode allows you to pose characters, change their outfits, expressions, etc. There's no weird shadows or camera restrictions, so that's good. You can just do whatever you want. There's also a store where you can upgrade outfits in terms of their stats. There are different currencies for different stages, so there's a bit more incentive to complete various stages over and over again. Another thing is that you can just customize visuals so that, selected outfits and accessories don't impact stats. At first I didn't know how that works, but then I realized why that is. I never bought any upgrades in the store, so that's probably why I don't have an option for that or something. There's a few other things you can upgrade in the store as well. You can just kind of have a poke around there to see. In terms of quality of life, there's been some nice improvements. One of my favorites is the ability to lock an item for a $100 fee. Here's a good example. There's been several times in the past where I really needed health, but I just couldn't afford it. Or maybe you just wanted to hold on to it and wait for the right moment to come up when you need it, right? So now you can just lock it and it'll just stay there. There's still a couple of things I'd like to see though. When selecting a new power generator, it would be nice to see the stats of the one you're replacing in order to compare it to the new one. Also, if you decided against replacing a generator after clicking on it, or maybe you just clicked on it by accident, you can't undo your action because technically you already bought the thing. I would really like it if they made the purchase go through once you actually select the placement of the generator. Other than that, I think the update is very good. I like the new character a lot. I also like, from what I've seen so far, the new outfit options there. The panties with the zipper is kind of crazy. Photo mode is pretty good, but maybe they can also put in a function of what, level of clothing the characters have on. You can kind of do that with clothing damage, but then the clothing that's left over is sometimes damaged and there's no way to get rid of that. So that's not exactly what I'm looking for. It would be nice for both characters if you could just remove their normal clothing and then just have them in their underwear all the time. But I guess, I don't know, maybe it doesn't work properly with the, visualizing how much damage the character has, but maybe they can just add a health bar instead. So I think there's some things you can do with that. There's still updates coming up after all. If you look at the roadmap that they have there, it says the next update will have meta loop improvements, which I don't know what that means. And then there's also a photo mode 1.2 update. Then the fourth update will have multiplayer, which I'm very curious to see, how exactly that'll work. And it says there's item shop updates too. That can all change though, depending on player feedback. So make sure to let the developers know on Steam there what you want to see in the game in the future. That's the update there for TurretGirls. I quite liked the original release, so I'm glad to see that they're working on new features and improving things, and this is an excellent step so far in the right direction. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in the next video.